take some questions.
How's everybody doing? Good. All right. Coming off bye week, got back on the practice field yesterday. It always speeds up a little bit with the Friday game, and so adjusting to that part of it. But I thought we had a good work yesterday. Got good work over the bye week, trying to get some guys back healthy as healthy as we can absolutely get them. That was one of our major deals throughout the bye week, and so got good work in during the bye week. Got to really focus on fundamentals and techniques and doing some different things, and then trying to get healthy and allow them some time to kind of rest a little bit too, not just physically but mentally. They've been through a lot up to this point in the season, so had a good week with that. I thought they came back fresh and ready to go yesterday. Had a good week. Got a big opportunity this weekend. Got a tough opponent coming in. Cal coming in here 5-2. They're playing really well. As you look at them, the quarterback slinging it around the field. They're big up front. 21's elusive in the return game as well as a receiver. They find different ways of getting him the ball, but they do a good job with that. You look at them defensively, very difficult to throw the football against. I think they're fourth in the conference right now in pass defense. I think fifth overall in total defense. So they do a really nice job over there. So we know we've got a great test. Coach Wilcox has done a tremendous job there, and I've got a lot of respect for him and what he's done while he's been there. But looking forward to being back home, playing in front of our crowd. Everybody coming out on a Friday night. Going to be a little bit cooler, I think, from what it looks like on the weather. So bundle up a little bit. We got 25 years of Sandman that we're celebrating, as well as we got Breast Cancer Awareness Month that's starting. So we want to honor those that are fighting it right now and those that have survived it. So we got a lot of things going on this weekend. I look forward to our crowd showing up and really being that X factor for us as we get going this weekend. With that, I'll take questions.
A little more specifically, what has impressed you about that quarterback in this passing game they have?
He's young, but he does a nice job of getting the ball out of his hands. He's got a good quick release to him, even as a left-hander. Usually lefties are a little longer in their motion. He does a nice job of getting it out. He's got a lot of pop to it. Kind of gets through his progressions pretty quick. Again, as a young quarterback, I think he's got a really good handle on what they're doing. He's got good weapons around him, and we're going to have a great test in front of us, especially with all the different changes that we've had defensively. And so we got to do a good job of trying to get him off his spot and making him feel a little bit more uncomfortable.
With regards to your passing game, Thomas Williams went down. We didn't ask you about him last week. Is that looking like it's a long-term thing? That looked like it might have been more serious when it happened.
Yeah, he's just like all of our guys. He had a good week during the bye week as far as trying to get healthy, and I think he's trending the right way. We'll see how the rest of the week goes, but it's kind of a day-by-day type deal for us, and we'll keep monitoring. But I can promise you he's trying to get back.
But it wasn't like a season-ending.
No.
It looked like it had the potential to be.
Yeah, it wasn't season-ending.
I want to ask you about how did you evaluate the offense during the bye week, and are there any changes that you feel like you wanted to tinker with to help it be more efficient?
Yeah, I think more than anything, it's the consistency of it. I think we show flashes. We just haven't been consistent enough. We've run the ball at times pretty well. We've had some explosive runs. I think it helps us when we're more healthy, depending upon what guys are in the backfield, what guys are up front, what's going on within the transition of it all. From the passing game standpoint, kind of some of those same variables to it. And so we know we got to be more consistent. We got to stay balanced. And I think we've shown flashes of really good things, and then we've got areas that we got to absolutely grow in.
Yeah, because I believe Kyron had faced pressure on 107 dropbacks through 7 weeks, and you don't want a quarterback having to deal with that type of pressure. Is there anything you work with him on, maybe getting the ball out faster or protection detail to make sure he's not facing that type of pressure on a consistent basis?
Yeah, I mean, we're actually getting more pressure than anybody in the country, I think, just about right now. So some of that goes back to, some of the challenges that we've had up front with guys being injured and trying to get some guys back. Different lineup almost every week. But we've got to do a good job of, number one, protection, and we got to do a good job of getting separation in routes, and he's got to do a good job of not hanging on things too long. and then continuing to grow and develop. But the one thing I know about Kyron is he is in here working every day. He is very self-aware of what's going on, and he's trying to improve just like all of us are trying to improve, me included, trying to improve every day. And so I respect that about him, how hard he works. He did some really good things the other day that I was really proud of. And, as an offense, we're continuing to grow.
Have you ever crossed paths with Justin Wilcox in your career?
No, I mean, we played 2 years ago when I was at Auburn. We went there and played. That's the only time that I've really ever come across him. I've met him at a couple of different things, but it's not like we have each other's number or anything like that.
Anything about his defenses that stand out in your mind?
Yeah, I think they're very physical, number one. They do a good job of switching up, especially in the secondary parts of it. They give you a lot of different looks, a lot of unique things about the way they want to do things. We'll see how they're going to play us. They've played certain people different ways, and so we'll see how they want to approach and how they're going to defend what we do. But the one thing about their defense, they're physical. They run to the football. They play with great effort. Zero, he's a phenomenal player. I mean, in my opinion, probably their best player on defense, plays their will linebacker, been there for a number of years. He's fast, he's physical, does a great job reading. He's a really good player.
You talked about the players being able to take a step back last week, kind of get their minds caught up on everything. What about the coaching staff? I mean, that was a pretty drastic change for you guys mid-season. You had to hit it on the run like that. Does this allow you to step back and maybe take a breath?
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to do that, right? But obviously, it's been a whirlwind for everybody in the program. Everybody, not just players, coaches, support staff. I mean, everybody's affected by what occurred early in the season. And so, for a lot of our coaches, obviously, they're all trying to figure out what the future holds. But number one, they're staying locked in. They're pouring into these young men. I think we as a staff, we as a team, we're all in. And these guys, I think, understand that, and guys are working at that level, and coaches are working at that level. So from that standpoint, yes, it's been emotional, and it's been a lot of mental stuff going on, but at the end of the day, when we're in the building, we're focused on these guys in that locker room and trying to do what's best for them.
When you're all in like that, even with how uncertain the future is that a reason why the team has bought in and is playing with so much effort and fire on a weekly basis?
Well, I think these guys, they're just welding together, and I take my hat off to them. They've been tremendous. They've been locked in together. They've played relentless. They played with a lot of energy, a lot of focus. We played for 60 minutes. Guys have stayed locked into that part of it, and we played physical. So when we do those things, it gives us a chance, and that's what we're wanting in each and every game, is the opportunity to go out there and compete and represent ourselves in this university in a really good way.
You brought up Cal's defense. Number 5, cornerback number 5, Hezekiah Massis, 4 interceptions. I believe he leads the nation in passes defended. What does he do in taking away one side of the field?
Yeah, he does a nice job. Especially when they put him in man coverage, he does a nice job at the point of attack. They give you so many different looks in the secondary parts of it that you may think it's this thing, and then all of a sudden it turns into something else. And so you got to do a really good job of seeing what you see, trusting what you see, and then reacting to that. But he's a good player. He's got some length about him. Does a nice job in whether he's playing on top of it or in some type of trail technique, and does a nice job playing the ball in the air. So we got to know where all of those guys are, but especially where he is.
You were talking a little bit about the linebacker, Cal's linebackers earlier, number 0. What allows them, in your mind, just the linebackers to flock to the ball as well as they do? It seems like they pursue really well.
Yeah, they really do. They run through the football with a tremendous amount of effort. I think some of it is what they're doing in the secondary and allowing to free those guys up a little bit. But, when he pulls the trigger, he can really track things down. Like I said, he's a really good open field tackler, does a nice job in the box, and then he's got that experience factor about him. Like, they use him in the blitz part of it. They use him in coverage at times, and so He's a well-rounded linebacker with a lot of experience, and he's tough to defend.
Having open week just to get everybody's legs back under you feel like you guys as a team in a healthier spot than you were going into last week?
Yeah, I mean, I can say healthier, but that's in, kind of unique type of way. Yes, we're healthier than we were 3 days ago, right? But we're still continuing to battle some of those things, and guys are playing through some stuff. But I do think the bye week helped. We tried to be really, really smart about what we did in the bye week, how we use guys in the bye week, and then trying to not only help them from a fundamental and a technique and a schematic standpoint, but then also just physically helping them try to get as healthy as they could possibly get.
On that front, are you hopeful that you'll get Cam Selden back for this upcoming game?
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, hope I get all of them back, right? But hope we get him back, and all those guys are trending in a pretty good fashion. So we'll see how each day goes, and it'll be a day-by-day type of scenario. But he was trending. He practiced well yesterday, so we'll see how he carries that through.
Very good. Andy, then we'll go to Zoom.
Kovo was previously on injury reports. Didn't see him on last week's. What's his situation right now? You expect
Yeah, he's
to have
still
him?
day-to-day right now, and we'll keep monitoring his injury and see where he's at, and hopefully we'll get him back soon. But I think he's trending well, but, at this point, not healthy enough to play as of last game.
Let's go to Zoom for a couple.
On Zoom, please use the raise hand feature to ask questions for Coach Montgomery, and we'll start with Steve, please.
Coach, you said there you might have had a second or two or a minute or two to breathe with the bye week there. Was there any time between either you and the other coaches, or you were talking to the players' council or the players in general, that said over these last 5 weeks that there's something fundamentally different that you'd like to see out of the team, or they said they want to see out of themselves down this stretch?
I've been really, really proud of how hard they play, how relentless they've played. We've got to be more consistent across the board in all three phases. But, those guys they're giving us everything they got each and every day. And when they step out on that field, they take a lot of pride in what they're doing and how they're doing it. And so our leadership council has been great. Those guys have done a tremendous job. And we got to continue to lean on them. But I've been proud of that part of it, just the effort and the attitude and the focus that they've had with everything that has gone on.
And just a little bit over on that also, with these last several weeks, has there been, was there any kind of change in, you've said that the team's always been cohesive, but did they have a big adjustment in your mind that they had to make with the changes that were made and with the coaching change at the top?
I mean, they've had a ton of adjustments that they've had to make, but they have done a good job of staying focused on what they can control and staying focused on keeping our team as connected as it has been. And again, I think that goes back to, number one, the leadership within our locker room, and then the leadership on the coaching staff of guys just pouring into these guys and understanding, hey, we're all in this together, and we got to continue to keep battling and grinding and working and trying to improve each and every day.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Any final questions on Zoom? Okay, Travis.
All right, last one here.
What do you think of Friday night games? That's kind of historically a high school football night like that, but I imagine it doesn't disrupt your schedule as much because you had the off week prior to this. But what do you think of playing these in kind of a showcase spot?
Yeah, I mean, when you go back to when they first started playing them, I was like, I don't know, it's kind of reserved for Friday night football, high school football. Nowadays there's football on every night of the week. I mean, even the NFL, how many games were on last night? 3? 2? I don't know. But Monday night was always just one game, and everybody watched the Monday night game when you were home to do that. And so I don't mind it anymore. I've played on Thursdays, I've played on Friday, I've played on Saturday, I've played on a Sunday. So, it's part of it. You still like the idea that high school football kind of dominates Friday night, but I will tell you, Friday night football for college has been really good, and I don't see it going anywhere. So, obviously, this week, because we had the bye in front of it, it helps us a little bit from the standpoint of not having the short week. Obviously, we had to change a little bit because we practiced yesterday, which is normally not a practice day for us, but it speeds everything up a little bit. But our guys are handling it well.